In the last class,
This conference will now be recorded.
Tab index attribute and some other attributes, I think, like min, max, step. Min, max, step. Step is not done. Okay, step is done. Okay, and I think no validate is done. Yeah. So next attribute that we have is that no validate. See, by default, when we open this page and if you don't enter the values and just click on submit button, it is showing error message, right? Because we have given required equal to required for these elements. Once we have given required equal to required for the respective elements, these fields become as mandatory fields, compulsory to enter. If it is blank, it will not accept. It will show the error message automatically. But I want to disable this built-in validations of HTML5. In order to disable the built-in validations of HTML5, what exactly we have to do? We have to add one attribute saying that no validate equal to no validate. Once we have added like no validate equal to no validate, the built-in HTML5 validations will be disabled. That means the required because of pattern and because of input type equal to email, whichever the built-in validations are working, automatically all the validations will be ignored. Now we can check if you click on submit button without entering anything also, it is simply submitting the form. Now we can notice it is simply submitting the form even without entering anything also. So, but when this will be enabled, if you are creating your own validation by using Bootstrap or jQuery, etc., then only it is recommended to go for no validate equal to no validate. So if you want to go with the default validations, don't give this no validate equal to no validate. If you want to use your own validation related plugin, such as jQuery or Bootstrap, etc., then it is recommended to give no validate equal to no validate. That's all. Next, now we have suppose there is a text box which is present outside the form. See, the form boundaries itself is over. I'm just adding a text box which is outside the form. For example, I'm just adding like the reference number, input type equal to text, name equal to ref number. So this reference number also I want to submit to this server when the user clicks on submit button. By default will not be submitted. The reason, the text box is part of outside the form. Even though we have placed the text box, it's just outside the form. The form will not take this. So if you click on submit button here in this form, only the contents of the particular form will be submitted. Top to bottom from the form beginning point, starting from here up to ending, whichever the elements are present, all those fields will be submitted without this one by default. Now check it. Save and refresh this. Now I'm just entering some reference number is equal to 1. I'm going to click on register button. If you have a look at once in the just URL, we are providing something like all these details, but it excludes a reference number. We have given reference number equal to 1 actually like this, but it's not submitting. The reason, only the form elements will be submitted. Outside the form, if any element is there, that will not be submitted by the submit button. But even the physically it is present outside the form, I want to include it inside the form. Then what we have to do, we have to make this text box as a part of the form, a logical member of the form. Then what exactly we have to do, go to form, name is equal to, we have to specify name. The name can be anything, just a reference name, for example, F1. And this F1 is a name that we have to mention here. Form is equal to, sorry, it's not name, it's ID. ID we have to mention, nothing but identification name. This ID we have to mention here, F1. Okay, for the form we have given ID, and that ID we have to mention here, which means that this text box belongs to F1. Form we can pronounce like belongs to. This text box belongs to F1. Now we can check. Now we are giving the reference number 1 and click on submit. Now we can check this URL. Now it includes reference number equal to 1. The reason that reference number text box is a logical member of the form. That is possible through the form attribute of the input tag. So if you want to make the text box as a part of the form, we have to use the form attribute. Just we have to mention ID of the form. That's all. Next, we have multiple equal to multiple. Okay, that's already done. That's all. I think all the attributes also completed. Readability, disabled, max length, everything completed. Okay, fine. So next, with this input tag is over. Next, we have to look for label tag. The reason label is, why the label is required is a label is providing the description about the text box. What value should be entered in the text box, we can create by using label. For example, in Facebook, suppose we can consider like this is the label and this is the text box. If you click on the label, cursor automatically appears in the corresponding text box. How to create like that? Let's try to see. This student name is a label and this is the corresponding text box. In order to create an identification name for this text box, we have to provide like ID equal to identification name. For example, T1 means the text box 1. Otherwise, we can also give txt student name. Txt student name is nothing but just a user defined name. It can be anything. So this is identification name of this current working text box. And we have to give this ID in the label tag. Label for equal to txt student name. Now what happens is that when the user clicks on this particular label, automatically corresponding cursor is appear in the corresponding text box. I click on the label here, cursor is appear in the corresponding text box. So same way we can convert all these also into corresponding label tag. See, first we have to provide ID for identification name, for example txt email. Based on this ID we can create a label for txt email. Generally ID is nothing but identification name of the element using which you are able to refer it anywhere. So when you click on this label, cursor is appear in the corresponding text box. Same way all, we can also place for all if you want. So next, field set. Field set is used to divide the complete form into small pieces. a meaningful set of text boxes will be part of the field set. For example, personal details means all the personal details you will place. And educational details means all the educational qualification details you will place, and so on. So we can just place field set, and for this field set you can provide some heading by using legend tag. By using legend tag we can just provide some heading. Only by placing the field set it is look like this. It is just a box, and by adding the label legend, it will be having some heading, a title for the field set. Now inside the field set you can place any number of text boxes. I'm going to place the student name, email, password, confirm password, etc. here. First there is a field set inside the form, and which includes a legend. Inside that we have placed a table and all. And table close, field set close. Now it is look like this. Now the table is present inside the box. Now this is meaningful. Some heading you can place, for example, some basic details or personal details, etc. And you can place a remaining inside another field set. So for another field set, followed by legend, other details. You can give any other heading whatever you wish, such as personal details, educational details, etc. I'm going to place all the remaining things inside another table. Okay, now it is converted like this. So just for looking, it's very easy, understandable for the users. Okay, this is one section, this is second section, easy understandable for the users. That is the reason why we have to use the field set. Next, drop down list we can introduce. Drop down list means list of options to show. For example, here list of dates, months, years. This is nothing but a drop down list. To create the drop down list we have to use select tag. So for example, here we have something like country, select. So we can see a drop down list here. By default, drop down list is empty. We can add the items to the drop down list by using option tags. Every single option is represented as option tag. So select, which includes option tag. Suppose please select is one option. Option country 1, country 2, a number of options. So we have a number of options in this. So we have a number of options. Any country names you can write. For example, India, any other country names. So user can select any one of them. But the clue is whichever the item is present for the first, that will be by default selected. See, for example, country 1, because country 1 itself is the first now. That itself by default gets selected. That's why we are adding please select or any other option in this place. So, and in case if you want to make a specific country as a default selection, for example, this country 3 is nothing but India. I want to make this India as a default selection here. Then what will you do? For the India, we have to provide selected equal to selected. By providing selected equal to selected, what do you mean? By default, at the time of opening the page itself, India will be selected. See, have a look at once. India is by default selected. Of course, user can select other countries, but India is a default selection by default by adding the option selected equal to selected. Next. Now, I want to prepare list of banks. Banks I want to prepare. We have a number of banks, for example, ICICI Bank, State Bank of India, Bank of India, Bank of Baroda, Citibank, HDFC Bank, etc. So many banks. But list of banks means, see, too many lists will be there. Maybe tens of banks. In a country, generally hundreds of banks will be there. So if you are displaying all the hundreds of banks like this in a plain list, the user may confuse. So we can categorize them, we can group them. For example, the top most important banks we can display into one category. Other ordinary banks you can display in other category. In order to group the options, we can do that by using OPT group tag. We can group the option tags by using OPT group, option group tag. So inside the select, you can just place OPT group. For this, we can place a label. Label means some heading for the option group. For example, top banks. Under the top banks, we can place some most important banks, such as these. And then inside the OPT group, we have to place the remaining ordinary banks. And this will be the default selection. And it is recommended to specify the name compulsory, because if you don't have a name, it will not be submitted to server. It's also recommended to specify ID. For example, DRP1 means a drop-down list. We have to place a label for that ID, DRP1. So the benefit of the label tag is that if you click on this bank, automatically the cursor will be placed in the select drop-down list. Now you can refresh. Once you open the page, by default it's like a please select, and see, it is categorized. And at top banks we have list of banks, and other banks we have other banks. So if you have too many number of options, it is recommended to use OPT group tag. Again, the drawback of this particular example is it's allowing you to choose only one bank at a time. Suppose only single ICICI Bank or any single bank can be selected at a time by default. In case if you want to allow the user to choose multiple options at a time, then it is recommended to use multiple equal to multiple. By adding an option like multiple equal to multiple, now it's converted as a multi-selection drop-down list. Means this please select is not required at that time. So now we can choose multiple items. Suppose I click on ICICI Bank normally, then control click on State Bank of India, control click on Bank of India. So by using control click or maybe shift click for continuous item selection, by using shift click or control click, we can choose multiple items. This is all about the drop down list. Next, last and final, the text area. Text area means the multi-line text box. For example, comments, description, any text area we can create. So I'm just taking another tier. Comments. The problem is If you are using a input type equal to text, you will get single line text box only, where you can type only single line of text. But if you want to accept multiple lines of text, we have to use the text area tag. Text area is the name of the tag. For example, comments you want to accept. Now you can see the comments text box where you can type multiple lines of text. So we can type any number of lines of text. At a time on the screen, by default, 3 lines of text is visible. 3 rows of text is visible by default. We can increase it by using rows attribute. Rows is equal to, suppose, 6. So at a time on the screen, 6 rows are visible. So that means height increases. If you want to increase the width, so it is recommended to specify the calls. Calls means number of characters per line. For example, 35. So 35 characters at a time visible. That much space will be created. Horizontally, 35 characters equivalent space will be created. Here character includes a space also. Okay. Next, I want to create a search suggestions for the text box. To create the search suggestions, see, just we go to search box. Okay, here I would like to display the search suggestions. Generally what happens in, suppose in Google, once we type something, automatically the matching names will be appear, right? How do we display like this? Suppose again we have a list of banks. The list of banks I want to display as a search suggestions. What exactly we have to do in the search, near the search box, data list tag we have to take. In the data list we have to place all these options. OPT group not allowed, just directly we have to place option tags. Now we have successfully created one option group, data list with a set of options. And for this data list, some ID is required. For example, banks list. Any ID we can give. And this ID should be mentioned here by using list attribute. List is equal to banks list. Now we can refresh. Once we type something in the search box, for example, it is showing the I static names, I containing names like ICICI Bank, State Bank of India. I containing names are displayed. H containing names. T containing names, like this. So this is the easiest way to create the options.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, now let us see meta tag. What is this meta tag? Meta will not print any output to the user. Meta tag specifies the current web page details to browsers and search engines. It is not meant for printing any output. It is only meant for providing the information about the current working web page to browsers and search engines. Hey browser, I am providing some details about the web page to you. That is through meta tag. Hey search engine, I am providing the web page details to you. That is through meta tag. Meta tag mainly specifies keywords, content type, description. First, you should understand what is keyword. Here, keyword means not like a programming language keywords. Here, keyword means searchable words. Generally, whenever the web page is being developed by a developer, he will target some words. For example, you are making a MP3 downloading website where you can find some movie audio songs. So in that website, what kind of keywords you will target? What kind of searchable words you will target? For example, Tollywood, Bollywood, Telugu, Tamil, Hindi, songs, free, download, this type of words you will target. These are nothing but keywords. These keywords, whatever you guess, should be mentioned in the meta tag in your program. Automatically, whenever in Google somebody type with these words, automatically if the words are matching, your website will be displayed in the Google results. Suppose you have mentioned Tollywood songs in the keywords. Somebody searched for Tollywood songs. Automatically, your website will be displayed in the Google results. If not matching, will not be appear. So, being a web page maker, being a website developer, you should know what kind of information that web page contains. That means what kind of searchable words are possible with this web page. So, all that possible words you have to specify. So, there is no any specific list of keywords to mention. It's not a list. Okay, we cannot say 20 or 30 list of keywords. It's all about dynamic list of words. So what are the possibilities of users to search? All the possible search keywords we have to mention the meta tag. I'll show one live example also with this. For example, I just open the website like Vodafone website. In this Vodafone website, just you can say right click inspect element. Once we click on inspect element, go to header tag. In the header tag, we can see actually we can see the title. Title is very important because whatever you type in the title, that will be appear in the browser title bar. See, we can see the Vodafone Mumbai prepaid postpaid, right? This is as it is will be displayed in the browser title bar. You can see. Of course, same also will be displayed in the Google search results. For example, where somebody will search for Vodafone, the same title, whatever you mentioned, the title tag will be appear even in the search results also. This one. Next, below some URL is displayed. I mean, this URL is displayed here. But where is this particular description is coming from? It is mentioned in the meta name equal to description. See, meta means providing the details about the web page. What are the details? Some content equal to Vodafone India something. So this sentence will be appear here. And this should be just a brief because the maximum allowed lines are two lines of text only allowed, not more than that. So brief sentence you will provide like this, which is used to make the user having a sense about your web page. So meta name. What is the name? What kind of option we are providing? The option name is description. Content means actual data. Next, keywords means the list of words, searchable words. See, for example, Vodafone Mumbai postpaid connections, etc. Which means that if somebody search in Google with at least any one of these names, automatically our web page will be displayed in the Google results. For example, I am searching like Vodafone USB modem, for example. Somebody search in Google like Vodafone USB modem. So this word already mentioned in this list of keywords, right? So that means automatically Vodafone related websites will be first. In Amazon also Vodafone related. So Amazon.in also have targeted same words. That's why Amazon also displayed. But actually Vodafone.in website is first. Okay, including some other different websites like this. So whichever the words are most matching, that websites only will be displayed. Okay, so anyway, in every web page independently, we can write any number of keywords. So if at least one word is matching, automatically our website name will be displayed in the Google results. So what words? There is no specific list to provide. It depends on the website nature or depending on the content what you have provided there. And next, content type. Content type HTTP equipment. What is the equipment of HTTP? That is content type. Content type means type of the content. Text by HTML means the text that you write in the program is nothing but HTML text. All this text is nothing but not a plain text. It is a HTML program. And char set equal to UTF-8 means we are using UTF format. UTF format means Unicode transformation format. You know that UTF means it is supporting all the language characters, not only English language characters. today we can see the mobile applications websites in any other language. That's because of Unicode format only. Once upon a time, the websites were developed based on ASCII, which means only English language characters allowed in the websites. But nowadays, such a problem is not there. Everywhere you can see Unicode format, which is also called as UTF, Unicode Transformation Format. 8 means 8-bit. So content type means type of the content. Text by HTML means we are writing the HTML program in the HTML file. And char set equal to UTF means we are using Unicode format. Means we are allowed to use other than English language characters also in the body tag. So these are the three most popular important meta tags that you will write. There is one more actually, viewport meta tag, that I will explain later in responsive web design topic. So presently meta, keywords, description, content type is the most important. We can mention this anywhere. Suppose I'm just making a new program. Normally HTML head body is common. Suppose we are making a website like music.com. So in this case, all the Telugu, Tamil, Hindi movie songs we are trying to allow to download. So what kind of searchable words will target generally in this case? Okay, meta name equal to keywords. What is the option name? Keywords. Content is equal to, in the content we have to provide the list of keywords. For example, Tollywood, Bollywood, movie, songs, download, Telugu, Tamil, Hindi, like this, any, etc. Whatever you guess, whatever you thought, you can write. There is no specific list to show. And meta is unpaired tag. There is no need of closing it. And also, once you save this program and run this, there is no any meaningful output in the browser. This output is because of heading, but because of meta tag, there is no any output. Check it. Meta tag is not meant for producing any output. It is only for providing information about the web page to search engines and browsers. Next, description. After uploading the website into server, means after hosting the website, then these words will be really executed. Not now. We cannot demonstrate right now in Google because it should be a live website. It should be a live website, then only we can demonstrate it. Okay, so we cannot live demonstrate in Google, but we can just understand the concept clearly now. In Google, somebody search in Google, automatically our website also one of the results. But we are not sure it will be displayed in the first place because many people target the same keywords, right? And they may be some popular websites. So those will be having first priority, ours may be low priority. How to improve the priority, that is a completely different subject. There is a concept called digital marketing or search engine optimization. Using that concepts, you can be preferred, you can be in the first place in the race. That is entirely different subject. We are not getting into that. So description means, for example, download movie songs. So where this description will be appear? Definitely not in the web page, but suppose you hosted your website, somebody searched in Google with any one of these words, for example, Tollywood, our website is displayed, assume that, and below the search results, means here in this place, the text of description will be appear. Okay. Next, meta content type. the HTTP equipment equal to content type content is equal to text by HTML, which means that we are using HTML content. So there is no any difference in the output, but now the browser know that we are using HTML program. Also, additionally, char set is equal to UTF-8, means Unicode transformation format, 8-bit. There are different options like 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit, etc. Always presently all the websites are using 8-bit only. Even mobile applications, any operating system is by default using 8-bit. So it is recommended to specify this content type but not compulsory practice time. See, practice time meta tag is 100% optional. Real time only it is useful. And about the viewport meta tag I will explain later. And one more thing, there is a shortcut way of writing this one. Instead of this we can also write meta directly char set equal to UTF-8. Directly can mention, that's all. So the old traditional notation is this one. Okay, shortcut is this one, which is modern and supported by all the browsers now. So either of these enough to use. Both means the same. Either of these we can use. That's all. So this is all about the meta tag.
This conference
Next
will
one,
now be
article
recorded.
tag. Article tag is used to divide the web page into group of articles. An article contains headings and paragraphs. Heading plus one or more paragraphs. So whenever you have taken some content from other websites, then it is recommended to use article. Okay, it is recommended to use article whenever we have taken the information from other website, from a other website reference. For example, you have taken the data from Wikipedia, for example. You have taken a definition from Wikipedia, then it is recommended to specify that this information come from the so-and-so website. Then it is recommended to use article tag. For example, there is something like SH2 for India. So this is the information I am just taking from the Wikipedia website. So you have to specify that this information comes from the India. Okay, so how do we specify that this is the information come from India? They come from Wikipedia by placing this part inside article tag. Okay, we have to place article tag. Inside the article tag, we have to place this heading and paragraph, which means that this information come from some other different resource. So it doesn't make any difference in the output, but a concept, it's a courtesy to specify the article tag. In case if you want to specify that this information coming from so-and-so source, we can specify the exact URL. Source is equal to that URL we can specify optionally. It will not be displayed as a hyperlink or anything. It's just a courtesy to specify the source. At least developers will know that this information come from so-and-so source. In case if you want to modify this content, what will you do? You will open this link, and there you can find the actual original document. There you can change the content whatever you wish. So this is about the article tag. Next tag is details and summary. Use it to show or hide the content. Suppose there is a heading and a paragraph. If you click on the heading, paragraph appears, otherwise hidden. Collapsible content, show or hide the information. See this, for example. Details and summary tag. It is recommended to place all this content inside summary. This one should be, no. This should be summary actually. This should be summary. This should be P tag only. And this should be details. Okay, just check it. If you click on India, then only it is opening. If you click again, it will be minimized. Like this. This collapsing functionality is nothing but details and summary.